Is that Tune? I think Tune wants to come up. Tune can come up because he's like, I assume
Is
he's like.
is that Toon? No, it's not Toon Boy.
That's not Tune Boy. Who is
No,
this?
Yo, can you bring up real first sellers after this too?
that's Toon Boy.
So,
Goku, Akashi, no. Zeno, Yuhaba, no. Deal over Heaven, no. Goku
yes,
Black
I think Zeno
knows.
beats. I think Zeno beats Giorno.
Rage Bait, no.
Is that who I
Goku.
think it is?
That's
Yo,
Toon.
hello.
Is that Brawly?
Yeah,
Um,
yeah, I think Zeno beats Giorno.
wait, why?
Hold on,
So what?
secret. Wait.
Why?
Hold on. Let me screen record this.
Good.
Hello.
Yo, what's the argument?
There, go ahead.
Yeah. So, I just have higher priors for why Zeno beats Giorno. So the way the hypothesis follows is that obviously one he does beat the character because some type of nuance or means, but um
Yeah,
the
what's the
posterior
argument?
probability here would be like the data book statement saying that he can erase all things.
The post URI. Okay, so you're talking about epistemic axis. When we talk about epistemic axis, you're
That's
just
not
saying
that's not that's not that's not what that is.
when you're talking about post URI, you're talking about observable facts.
No, hold, you're very confused. No. When you say posterior probability, it's one of the main properties of Bayesian updating. So
Okay.
to make a type of Bayesian inference or one Bayesian inference, you ought to use posterior probabilities or posterior credences. Okay.
Okay. So when I say, you're saying that based upon what we can observe, it's more likely? That's incorrect.
Sure.
Okay. Why is that incorrect? What are you saying?
I didn't say it was incorrect. I said sure.
Oh, okay. So what I said
Just-
initially wasn't incorrect, or what did I say wrong? Just go ahead and tell me.
I didn't say anything.
Oh, okay. I thought you were
I,
implying
I,
something
I just
wrong.
think you're kind of low tier. You don't really understand what I'm saying. But
Okay. So
listen,
so
when you use
the
when you refer to
priors.
Bayesian updating, I don't think you know what a prior is. So just to be clear for the state and everybody
Okay.
that's like
What's
listening,
the argument?
when you have priors, it's an initial belief before you consider any new updated evidence. The posteriori is the new updated evidence after already considering your prior initial beliefs. Now you can either rationally change or shift your priors in a positive manner, where it's obviously the hypothesis is granted. It's just your prior beliefs were changed. Now, if it negatively affects your priors, if the kind of data or the thing you're trying to analyze the datum with, obviously fails, then your priors would fail. Meaning the hypothesis isn't justified.
Okay, cool. So when we examine the hypothesis, all you didn't actually say like the actual reasonings or the justifications. You said I have
I
priors to
did.
believe. Wait, I have priors to believe that this is no. All you said I
That's
have
not
priors.
what I said.
Wait, no. I'm not verbatim quoting you, but you said something along the lines of I have priors to believe this is the case.
No,
And
no,
then when we're
bro.
going and then when we're going into
Can I
postiori.
clarify what I
Wait,
said too?
and
Like
then
I said something too.
and then we were going into postiori evidences or something to add
No, this
credence.
point is
Wait, add
irrelevant.
credence to the view is that there's a data book statement saying that he can erase all things in existence.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. The statement is the posterior probability updating.
Okay, that's
It, it,
fine.
ras- it rationally
Okay,
shifts the
that's
priors.
fine. But I'm saying you didn't. Yeah, I'm saying. Okay, are you saying the priors are actually a set of data sets and facts to hold
No,
a view,
no,
or are you
no,
saying it's
no,
just a
no,
belief you is one an agent
no,
can
no,
hold?
no, no, no.
It's just a belief an agent can
Listen,
hold. Okay, so
yeah, yeah, yeah. So
so to say
it's
that
wait,
wait
chill,
to
chill,
say
chill, chill, chill.
wait.
You're confused. You're confused. Chill
Okay,
out. That's not what that is. No,
go
when you
ahead.
have priors, one, it's 1 degrees of confidence when considering one's own hypothesis
And what are those based
or
upon?
event.
And what are those based upon?
Yes, so it's probably based upon the hypothesis, the events you're measuring in the
That's
hypothesis,
circular.
i.e.,
That's circular. The
no, it's not
hypothesis is
circular.
supporting the hype. You just said the hypothesis
No,
is supporting the
no, because
hypothesis.
no, you're confused. No. The hypothesis isn't the priors. You idiot.
I
The
never said
priors is what
that.
you're using to talk about the events that's being said within the hypothesis. It's not circular. The way you
No.
justify the hypothesis is through the posteriors. You're very confused.
Okay, but when I asked you for the justification for the priors themselves, we're not
Oh,
talking about.
brother. I gave you them. I'm telling you, it's a
Okay,
data book statement,
okay. The data book statement
and
is
it's
the
stated in
priors.
a
You're not
series
okay. You're okay. That then. Okay. I asked you
that
earlier. Oh wait.
justifies the
Okay.
proposition,
I
bro.
asked you. Okay. I asked you earlier. Oh my god, that's scary. I asked you earlier if you were talking about If you were talking about the statement we were referring to prior, it's just some like evidence that you've observed
No,
previously
no,
to make you believe that this is a true belief,
no,
or if it's just
bro.
or if it's just some seeming or reason. Okay, well, so if it's okay, you're saying
So
is it the data book or is it
listen.
not the data book statements?
Well, listen. Typically, when you make Bayesian inferences, you invoke abductively valid degrees of reasoning,
Okay,
where you are to say these things are abductively sound, at least so as far as if they're true. So when you have priors, it's just your degree of confidence in the hypothesis and in the events. So
and the justification.
listen. Chill out,
Wait.
chill.
When you
You
talk
don't
about
understand what I'm
wait,
saying. That's why you keep strawmanning my
when
points.
you talk about the degrees, when you talk about
Can I finish?
here, let me disconnect so I can focus. When you talk about the degrees to accept a view or to posit the hypothesis, you just said something like that, right? About the degrees.
No. Listen, no. It's your degree of confidence
Degree of
in the
confidence.
hypothesis.
What is that based upon?
Yeah, listen, bro. It's based upon the hypothesis.
Okay.
And how likely you think the hypothesis follows or goes.
And
For example,
what is
listen,
that based
chill out.
upon? Why is the hypothesis acceptable?
Can I
here?
please? Oh my god, bro. Can I? I'm just like breaking down basic stuff to both here. Listen, so you understand the point. Subjective priors is more or less relative to the own agent's intuition, at least so as far as when talking about the degrees of confidence in a particular hypothesis. There isn't any set standard or thing we're referencing when we say we're highly confident in the hypothesis. Now, you can use the posteriori to rationally shift our degrees in believing in the hypothesis, at least so as far as where it justifies it, because we've accurately tested what the hypothesis says, because there's evidence for it. And then you can invoke concepts like parsimony into it. Parsimony is a tool that we use to basically break down all other possible beliefs, at least so as far as relevant to the hypothesis measuring the datum, where the hypothesis that has evidence for it is likely to be favored because the other hypothesis either makes more assumptions that can't be justified, or someone just has a more rational probable hypothesis because they justify one of their assumptions.
Okay.
So if I justify my assumptions, then we're rationally warranted in believing the proposition or the view is true.
Okay, that's okay. That's fine. I agreed. We already agreed upon that. Even when I asked you if what I was saying was incorrect, you said no. But I'm talking about the assumption. When we talk about the justification for the assumption, and I was asking you what that is for the assumption hypothesis in the first place. I was asking what is that, and then you went back to this is the data scan. Book. It's the data book, but the data book is the thing that is increasing the likelihood of the Bayesian inference itself.
No, okay, that isn't problematic.
Okay.
The point is that the point is that
that's all. That's all.
Okay, so the scan. Listen, so the scan would be the posterior probability. It's us actually testing the events.
Okay. Cool. So whenever you say that you believe that Zeno can erase everything from existence, you think that's an argument? Because I asked you to present an argument.
No, that's not. No. Okay, well, one, it's one of the main motivators for the overall argument that Zeno wins.
What is the argument? What do you mean for the overall argument? What is the argument?
Well, I can just give you IV. So if it's observed X that Zeno Y placeholder for any and all things that leads to him winning, then we can likely reach the conclusion or make some type of conclusion or inference that Zeno wins based off of the thing that's within the datum. P2, obviously, we're just making some type of abduction upon the evidence because there's priors for it. Conclusion, obviously, Zeno would win because of the things.
Wait, you said we just I didn't catch that. I'm not disagreeing with the premise yet. But
you said it's the abductive IB. It's the IB. You want it formal? It's the IB.
Okay.
Inference to the best explanation.
Yeah. No, I know what abductive is. Okay. So
the Bayesian inference is rather proposing the model, the way the evidence is organized.
Yeah.
So parsimony is supposed to be telling you that I have a more rationally probable hypothesis because I made less assumptions within it.
When you say make less assumptions, what do you mean there?
Okay, so for example, if you have hypothesis 1 and hypothesis two
No, I
makes
understand
more
that there's less.
observations.
I know there's less operators. I'm talking about within the specific instance. When we talk about the characters, let's just even talk about like say the number of properties that each one holds. Can you like name all the properties of each character?
Okay,
Like
well,
to say that there's going to be less operators or less
no,
abilities.
it's
Can you
not
like
even
count
about
here?
it's not about properties. Like it's not really about
Okay,
like
attributes. Let's say
some type of like
attributes,
metaphysical
abilities.
nuances, but
Sorry, abilities,
it's more or less resonated, bro.
abilities.
That's not really what the parsimony really concerns, bro. It more or less concerns both of our hypotheses and our commitments.
Okay,
So, for example, obviously, you at least assume everything I'm saying within my hypothesis because that's what you're using to attack it. And you're giving an alternative, but you have at least one additional negatory commitment, which is obviously this is not true. I believe that assumption is unwarranted and has no evidence for it.
okay. First of all, first of all, prove that. Prove that I'm accepting everything you're saying.
Oh,
and
Hitchens razor. Hitchens razor.
Wait, there's no. Yeah, but there's no. Okay, Hitchens razor only applies to our claims or arguments made without presenting evidence to them. You haven't even.
You didn't give any evidence. I
never gave you. Wait, I never give. What argument? What argument have I given you?
Listen, you never justified.
What's the argument I gave you?
Well, one, you never justify why my hypothesis fails. You also never justified why the statements are false.
When did I say that? When did I say that?
Well, you don't have to say it. It's implied.
This guy is so lost. Okay,
brother, you don't. Listen, bro. I'm still saying you said it. You don't have to say it directly.
Yeah, no.
You're like
it's
laughing like a hyena.
It's not. Yeah, I'm not committing.
Is that supposed to be rhetorical?
Wait, I'm not committing some sort of verbatim fallacy. But I said when I said specifically,
no,
I'm not disagreeing
brother.
with any premises yet. But I'd like you to just
explicate. No, you
wait,
are.
I just want you to explicate upon what this premise means. How does anything I said there after you give the argument? When did I give you a defeater to your argument?
Holy shit!
I haven't given you a defeater yet.
Okay, bro. Okay,
so
I guess
assuming wait. Did I give you a defeater yet? Yes or no?
This is fine.
It's a true dichotomous question.
Fine.
Did I give you a defeater yet?
It's fine.
Did I give you a defeater
It's
yet?
fine.
Yes or no?
It's fine. This doesn't go against my commitments. This is fine.
Okay, then stop.
Okay, so assuming there's some X that...
Wait, let me finish. So you're dropping the argument that I'm incorporating...
This is why I hate yelling debate.
Oh my God.
Bro. Like, can I just finish talking, bro? Please? I'll let you talk. Like, why? Like, can you just show proper courtesy?
Go ahead.
Okay, bro. Like, you don't have to keep talking. The reason why I'm saying it doesn't go against any of my prior commitments is because since you want to hedge, obviously, it's fine, bro. Okay, against any type of hypothesis that says not X, talking about my hypothesis, I have the more rational preferable hypothesis, which is fine because I still justify why my commitments are true or why the commitments and the type of things they posit are true. So...
Okay, as I was saying, well, I don't know what it'd be. First of all, I don't know it'd be hedging because you can't even tell me what my like reduction or argument or counter argument was. And when it comes to talking about operators within the argument and what we're talking about, the Bayesian inference and increasing the likelihood of the thing or saying it's more sensible in this case.
Well, you asked me why.
Based upon the operators. Let me finish. I went on mute for you. Stop flipping talking.
Go ahead.
Stop talking. I'm actually about to drop you because you're pissing me off. You're raising my cortisol up. As I was saying, I didn't give you an argument yet. I didn't give you a counter argument for you to say that there's more operators. If you say X, Y, and Z is the reason your character wins, but I could say, well, just not X. Wait, bro, I'm about to drop you. You actually have no self-control. I literally muted for you. Stop talking. Okay, I could just say not X, and if Y and Z follow from X and all I'm denying there's not X, it just seems to be the case that there's less operators and not X, to X, Y, and Z leads to the conclusion that your character wins. So when you talk about making a Bayesian inferences, which is a data set leading to the likelihood to support the conclusion that your character wins, I don't think you actually given the operators. You haven't given the quantity of operators to compare that to the negation of such operators to make the inference that that we should take this under parsimony to be correct over my argument. So if we say there's an A1 and A2, but you haven't quantified how much is an A1 and you don't even know what A2 yet is because it doesn't exist yet, then the parsimony means nothing here.
Oh,
And
okay.
what's
Are
the
you done?
response? Yeah, what's the response?
Okay, so to the stage that wants to get amps and that wants to learn more. Just to be clear, parsimony is just saying the simplest explanations are preferred over more
Sure.
complex explanations over a specific datum or degree or some type of inquiry. Inquiry just means a field in which you ask answers for and try to get more information about. Okay, in this context, the reason why it's some type of I'm pretty you're very very confused. The type of parsimony it is semantical parsimony. Or not even that, it's ideological parsimony because it's a comparison between two hypotheses and their commitments. So I have less assumptions within my hypothesis because you at least assume some additional assumption A within your hypothesis that you cannot warrant or justify. I have less assumptions because I actually warranted one of my assumptions and commitments.
What's the
You're just
argument for
saying
that?
no. Yes, because there's evidence and scans that suggest it. So listen, the type of parsimony,
and where was my
bro.
where was my argument?
So the type of parsimony I'm
What are my
inflicting
commitments?
upon here.
What are my
The
commitments?
type of parsimony, bro. Chill out, bro. The type of parsimony I'm talking about here is quantitative parsimony. It's quantitative and it's ideological quantitative parsimony.
I said that. What is the quantity within my hypothesis? What is the quantity?
Okay, because you're saying no.
Semantic
You're saying no.
No, no.
Listen. Chill out, bro.
Wait,
chill out.
What am I saying?
Well, one, you denied my account of parsimony, so you're indirectly denying the account of parsimony, at least so as far as in how it's used.
No, I denied your specific instantiation, not how parsimony is used, like simpliciter.
Oh, okay, so you're denying my account. Okay, listen, the reason why the account works is because I justified it via the Bayesian inference. But just to be clear, just so we're on the same page.
No, you didn't.
Bayesian inferences, I picked up, you said this too in your little attempt at a counter argument. Bayesian inferences it's not parsimony. This is a category error.
I never said it was, but that's what you're using.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure you said it was. The whole chat about you said that.
We can.
Okay, but no, listen. When you invoke parsimony,
wait.
I know way more. I'm trying.
Parsimony, wait.
Can I finish?
Okay, go ahead.
Can I finish?
You said something untrue about my position.
Chill out. Okay, well you can respond to after I was done.
Go ahead.
Okay, just to be clear, so we're on the same page. Parsimony isn't a truth maker, so we're on the same page. It already would have had it been true that my prior commitments are the case, at least so as far as what the commitments try to talk about. And there's just some assumption A that just isn't warranted. It's rather an epistemic heuristic, meaning it's like a note or a way to like fact check which assumptions were warranted and which weren't. Obviously, mine were warranted, yours weren't. It's common sense.
Okay, two things. You failed to actually like cash out what my commitments were or what I posited. All we've gone over so far are what are your commitments and just breaking down exactly what they mean. I haven't even really given you a reduction yet, so it seems like you're trying to precog, but it's just failing horribly.
What is he talking about?
And then when we were talking about the Bayesian inference, that was that not? Let me ask a clarifying question. Was that not the quantifier for the amount of our operators when we talk about parsimony?
No, you're confused. No, bro, no. Listen, a Bayesian inference or probability theory. It's not parsimony. So we're on the same page.
I'm not saying it
parsimony.
is.
Parsimony is rather a tool we use to measure our commitments and the types of positations we have.
And the commitments are based upon
chill out.
The Bayesian inference.
Stop. If you posit more factually incorrect assumptions against an hypothesis that has more factually correct assumptions, or not even that, if you just posit more, there's more probability you have to. There's more types of assumptions and more types of probability you have to span amongst all of the commitments in order for it to explain the datum correctly. If both hypotheses explain the datum correctly, but someone uses more assumptions baked into their own argument scheme, at least so as far as and what they're talking about, to talk about the datum or evidence, then obviously the one that's more simple is preferred because it makes less commitments.
Okay.
So, like, for example, let's say.
Talk about the truthfulness.
Chill.
You're monologuing.
Chill, bro.
I don't need an example. You're monologuing. You're gonna say, let's just say da da da. I know what you're talking about.
I'm trying to help you.
You're monologuing.
I'm trying to help you.
Can you
chill out?
When you say,
but listen, bro, chill. Can I finish, bro?
What is that in reference to? Go ahead.
Okay, it's not even whether or not the propositions themselves were justified. It's really just about whether. Oh, bro, can I finish, bro? Can I finish? Holy shit! Listen, so we're on the same page. I'm not like just monologuing. You just don't understand what I'm saying. For example, if someone says the reason why gravity exists is because of Newton's not Newton's but Einstein's theory of relativity. You can use it as a way to talk about gravity, and then someone says the reason why that exists is because let's say Einstein's theory of relativity and aliens come together and they make gravity. Obviously, Einstein's theory of relativity and aliens are less parsimonious in the view that just prefers Einstein's, unless we warrant the assumptions within hypothesis 2 that talks about Einstein and aliens. So it's like I said before, it talks about the commitment set within each view.
Okay, cool. A1, A2.
Yeah.
Let's say what you have is A1. First of all, A2 doesn't exist yet. Well, let's just talk about A1. The commitments to the view, or to talk about A1 in terms of its content. What is that based upon? What is the content of A1 based upon? It's based upon the theory of relativity, correct? It's based upon the theory of relativity, no? No, because in that specific instance, right?
Oh my god!
So in this case,
listen,
it'd be wait. So in this wait. So in this case,
based upon, bro. Can I finish, bro? I wasn't done. Like this is
Can
I finish the agreement? Okay, listen. So A1 is based upon one specific referent, which is obviously the theory of relativity. It only talks about one specific concept and its ability to explain the datum. We have another hypothesis that has two commitments. Unless we justify why that is more preferred, the one that would probably be more preferred is probably the one that makes less commitments, because it talks about the concept and explains it more simpler. Okay.
So you agree now? You agree that the
just to be clear to the stage and to everybody wanting to get better.
You agree that the reference for A1 in terms of its content, in terms of the quantity of let's say operators or commitments, is based upon the Bayesian inference, no?
No. Oh my. Holy shit.
Is it? Wait.
Bro,
Is it,
the Bayesian. Listen. Oh my God, he's so confused.
Okay.
Listen, so when you say a proposition is true,
it's based off the scan, right? 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 It's based off the
when
scan,
you
right?
say
It's based off the scan, right?
When
It's
you say a proposition
it's based
is
off
true,
the scan. It's based off the scan.
when you
right?
say a
It's based off the scan, right? It's based
can
off
I
the scan,
finish?
right?
Yes. It's based. Can I finish?
So then
can I finish?
So the number of commitments in A1
Can I
is
finish?
the
Can I
scan.
finish? I'm not done. You're just straw manning his right. Can I finish the point?
Oh my God.
You just keep talking. Let's listen. So, oh my God, you're so confused. So, a theory of justification rather deals with how an agent utilizes justificatory nuances or ideas to justify a proposition.
Yeah,
now, when you justify a proposition, you can be a pragmaticist when it comes to these kinds of concepts.
I agree.
I believe that it's more useful in inquiry or other fictional truth discussions to invoke this kind of way of justifying these type of things because of what because of what it deals with. Obviously, like i.e., there's a narrative that says Zeno it can beat everybody or can erase everybody. So the way I'm justifying
all you're saying is you're going from induction.
So the parsimony,
wait. All you're saying
induction.
When you talk about Bayesian inference, you're not talking about increasing the likelihood of a view or of a thesis.
Bro, that's not just induction. Stupid.
Wait. When we talk about a Bayesian inference, are you not talking about updating the probability of a hypothesis?
Yes, it's updating the probability of an hypothesis.
Is induction?
Listen.
Is induction not? Is induction not a form of reasoning?
Bro, no one disagrees that induction is a way to talk about probability. Bro, everybody in the VC, everybody in the state, so y'all understand and y'all learn from what I'm saying. Please track with me, bro. Just to be clear, there are different ways to present probability. Induction is not the only way to say that a proposition or a view is more probable. It's abductive reasoning. It's abductively valid. It's abductively sound.
You're right. That's a category.
Confused.
My bad. Okay, that's the issue.
Yes, a big category here. That was a blunder, bro.
Okay, that's fine.
Okay, so it's an abductively true argument. Abductively true.
That's fine. Okay, invoking induction there specifically when we talk about increasing the
it's not induction.
Okay, I'm saying right now that was incorrect. But when we talk about the data set, I'm saying that is what I'm attacking, not necessarily looking at the pragmatist view between two things with different numbers of commitments. What I'd like to attack...
What? That's not what pragmatism talks about. He's so confused.
When you're talking about parsimony, that's
parsimony.
Saying,
No. That's not what I'm saying.
But parsimony is not...
Listen.
Pragmatism is irrelevant to parsimony?
It's a pragmatic account of justification.
Okay, so
I can also defend the pragmatic theory of truth.
okay, so pragmatism is not is indeed relevant to the view of parsimony.
But okay, well, it's relevant to everything I'm saying, but that
Okay,
doesn't mean it's the same.
I'm not saying
Just
it's the
because
same.
it's
I'm not
relevant
saying
doesn't
it's
mean
the
it's the
same.
same.
I'm
Okay,
not
so
equivocating on the
listen.
term.
So
I'm
can I
using.
just
Wait,
explain what that
wait.
means?
I'm using in the
Yes or
specific way
no?
that
Can
you're
I
talking about.
explain what that means?
I'm saying I agree with you specifically in the context that you're using it in. I agree with you. Now let's talk.
Okay.
Okay, let's
So
talk about. Okay, let's talk about the data set itself. The data set to support the hypothesis that Zeno beats Giorno. I'm saying that the specifics one scan that you used is not a sufficient amount of
we'll
data.
justify that.
Wait,
Why?
Let me finish. There's not a sufficient amount of data to support the hypothesis that Zeno beats Giorno.
Can I
Okay,
let
exactly.
Cujo up?
Thank you. Wait, yeah, you can let Cujo up. It's fine. So we can let Cujo up. It's
Okay.
fine.
I'm gonna just give.
Okay.
Listen, I'm
Okay.
gonna give my closing statement because
No,
I really
no,
gotta
no,
go.
no, 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 no.
I think we're both.
Bro, I'm finna give my closing statement, but wait, chill out. Just so we're on the same. Can I talk?
No, because I literally went on mute and let you speak on multiple occasions. When we talk,
Bro, you were done talking.
No, I'm not done talking because you didn't let me finish initially.
Okay, go ahead, bro.
I'm continuing to speak. You haven't heard me stop speaking because you won't let me finish. What I am saying, and I will justify that the whole time. I wasn't trying to talk about A1 and A2 and what commitments they have. When we're talking about what we're talking about, the commitments was involved there is the data set. I agree with you. That was a blunder for me to talk about induction. But when we talk about the data set, I am saying to support the hypothesis or increase the probability to support the conclusion that your character beats Giorno off of one scan, which first of all hasn't been presented, which I know I pointed out earlier. Which I pointed out earlier. Is I'm saying that it's not sufficient.
I don't know
it could be.
How do you
wait, let me finish.
It,
it could be the case from the data set that we observed that it is the case that Zeno under specific context.
It's a TikTok live.
Yeah, you can show evidence. You can send it to me on Discord. Let me finish.
Yeah, how do
let me
I
finish.
do that?
It could be okay. You can send it to my Discord. You can expand your screen. Now, as I was saying, let me finish. It could be the case that under specific context, under sufficient conditions, that Zeno can erase objects or say a universe or all things in existence. But we could say based upon the data set, we have not shown that we have not met the sufficient conditions for him erasing Giorno. So we could say speed is a factor. No, let me finish. Speed, for example, is a very important factor to support the hypothesis. Speed is a very important factor to support the hypothesis that Zeno beats Giorno. So when we're looking at this data set, all I'm saying is this thing that you're this piece of data is not sufficient to increase the probability for your character beating Giorno because the sufficient conditions for him to beat Giorno have not been met to increase the likelihood. Okay, go ahead.
Okay, we're done.
Go ahead.
Okay, so to respond to all the idiots' points, okay, just to be clear, this is an entirely new point. The only actually good points you've made in the past 15, 20 minutes of me being here. Okay, just to be clear. So the evidence does suggest that the character can erase beings no matter what. So when talking about speed nuances or other speed concepts,
I said that's not. That's an unfounded claim.
Wait, can I finish?
You never proved that. That's the whole point. You never proved that.
Wait, can I finish the point?
Yeah, go ahead.
Can I finish?
Go ahead.
Okay.
Go.
I think he's looking for
now he's teacupping. Listen, that's why I said it's an unfounded claim. It's not been justified. I said that from the beginning, and I said that now.
Do you even get what he's saying, man? The probability there is just pragmatic.
Bro, we talked, listen, me and you talked about the same thing when you were talking about A1 and A2. You were saying that A2, because it has less commitments, that we could, under some parsimonial view, we could take it to be more true. And you were
That's
saying...
not the same thing in vote.
Sorry, not parsimonial.
He's just saying, upon the probability there, it just seems that within the table, the probability could just be taken upon the utility, or just pragmatically there. I don't even think
so. He's
taking anything else because it seems you're trying to invoke within the data table an ideological parsimony within the commitments there. It seems that you're not really attacking the probability there. It seems you're trying to invoke other things.
What I'm invoking is the probability doesn't increase from the non-scan being shown because this doesn't meet the sufficient conditions for increasing the likelihood of the
I don't.
hypothesis. I'm just saying
It
it's a
just
non
seems the
sequitur.
probability.
It's a non
Okay,
sequitur.
the pro. What?
Why
No,
does this
because the
seem the
pro.
probabilities increase?
It's
Yeah.
just saying that within these sufficient or within these conditions within the data table, seems the probability goes with the utilization of, let's just say, the commitments there. Well, it seems that if we could actualize or just utilize the sufficient conditions within, let's just say, the data table, then it seems that we could take that as the probable case. That's just what pragmatists take in probable cases and also within the Bayesian account. But seems that you're trying to invoke something else, like I said before, the ideological parsimony, which is just adding other commitments towards the data table, which I don't think Bradley is actually committing that.
That's fine. That's fine. But what is okay? I'm okay. Then when we talk about the
All right,
data,
Chedians.
when we talk about the data table, what's the justification for this is meeting the sufficient conditions to increase the probability? I could say the sky. Okay, I could say the grass is green.
Oh, there. Okay. What you're
grass
trying
is,
to?
okay, it was on that. Yeah, grass is green. That increases the probability or the likelihood that my character wins. I mean, just adding some data set or adding something to the table.
No,
I'm
no.
asking for how this
Okay.
increases the probability there. That's all I'm asking.
It's just the utilization within the data table. That's what I'm saying. Okay. Well, when we say grass is green, then then A1 is trying to invoke that character X, or just entity X beats entity Y. Seems that there's no utilization between the commitments there. But Bradley is trying to invoke there is.
Okay,
That's
what I'm
the
denying.
connective.
Okay, I'm asking him to make that connective because I'm saying that hasn't met the sufficient conditions to support the hypothesis or increase the likelihood. That's all I've been saying.
The sufficient conditions are the
Okay,
Holy
okay,
shit.
okay. When you say utilization, there, what do you mean? What do you mean?
Okay, it seems that utilization would just be implication upon, let's just say, a data table in this sense. Well, let's just say A1 invokes X. Seems that to invoke X, we're just going to have pragmatically utilize the subdomains there. Seems that that's just what we're saying there. And
Wait.
Bradley is just trying to invoke the probability, goes pragmatically with the utilization. Seems you're, like I said, multiple times, trying to invoke
that sounded
other
like,
things.
I'm not gonna lie, that sounded like gibberish chaos. When we talk about
Oh, okay. Can you check your DMs?
Yeah, I know.
you
I saw.
that.
It's fine. I'm about to shut. Listen,
Okay.
chaos. When you say upon the things in the set, right? It's the implication for X. I'm asking for how does this imply X? I'm saying it has not met the sufficient conditions to imply X. You're saying it does from the utilizations. I'm saying based upon
What
what
justifies that?
is the utilization?
No, the
Brother.
utilizations are the subdomains.
Okay, and what's the subdomain?
Oh my god, the subdomains is what he's trying to say within the data.
Okay,
That's what-
okay,
you're trying to do this.
okay,
Okay,
the
just
data.
be clear.
Okay, wait. The
Okay,
data with the
hold on.
data is the scan itself. He's saying
You're
the scan.
trying.
It's,
Okay, hold on.
Go ahead.
You're trying to deny the data table there, or just the set within the subdomains. It seems that when we say pragmatically or the utilization between the subdomains with the original domain, let's just say X parentheses A. That's just what we're gonna say there. Seems that it's very redundant and just stupid to say that we can deny the connective when the subdomains are utilized within the original domain. That's just very redundant. That's a blunder.
Okay. So to say that to prove this hypothesis, this is a part of the data set, and for me to say that this is not a part of the data set is a blunder. That's what you're saying I'm doing.
No, I'm saying that when we're asking for the net connections between the subdomains and the domains, seems that pragmatically, or when we utilize these, seems it's already there. That's either one, a category error, or just a huge blunder on your part argumentatively. I'm not even saying like the entire rebuttal is wrong. I'm just saying that when you're trying to invoke his data is very, very like false what he's trying to actually do there.
Okay, just semantically reduce what you just said. When you talk about domains and subdomains, just reduce that. Just reduce that.
Okay.
Oh God.
So think of the domain as like an original set, right?
Yeah.
Let's just say X. And then within X, there's subdomains. Like, let's just say, the formalization of X, parentheses Y, or P, parentheses X, things like that. Those are domains within the POL.
Yeah.
Seems that with these, the subdomains, invoked, utilize the domain. It seems very bad, or it's just a huge blunder to say that we cannot invoke the subdomains with the original domain when it seems the subdomains are already utilized within the original domain. It seems it's either client's category error that you're invoking, or just a very huge blunder on your part, or a whole part.
So in this case, the domain would be the hypothesis, and then the subdomains would be the
What?
scans.
What? That's not
No.
The hypothesis would be the subdomain. That
Okay,
because the hypothesis is trying to go over the original subset actually invoked there.
Okay, and so then the domain.
So
would
what we're
be
saying,
domain-
the applicability there. You said what?
So then then the domain. Are you saying the domain is the epistemics?
It could just
Or
be
like
that. I think
evidence?
normally, like normal people would just say no. The domain would not be the evidence either. It just seems that the domain would be the original proposition. Let's just say, for example, and then the subdomains try to invoke the original proposition would be evidence.
I thought you said the hypothesis is the subdomain. Is the subdomain connected to the hypothesis?
Yes.
They're both
Okay.
subdomains.
The hypothesis
They're
is.
both subdomains.
Yes. There could
Okay.
be multiple subdomains.
Okay, so
But
when
then
I'm
He's
saying,
saying, I think he's trying to say that the propositions are higher order than the evidence. That's
Yes,
what I
it's
think.
just it's just how the POL works.
Yeah.
Okay, that's fine. That's fine. Okay, when we talk about
Well, the evidence got sent to you in chat.
Yeah, I'm about to show it. When you talk about the connectives, the connectives between the subdomains, the hypothesis, and then what is supposed to be increasing the likelihood of said hypothesis. When we talk about that specifically, I'm asking for what is the symmetry breaker when we talk about me saying grass is green. This is and how this doesn't increase the likelihood of my hypothesis.
The breaker there, or just the distinction from what's happening here, is
There's a distinction in the symmetry breaker.
Huh?
I said I agree. There's a distinction. I'm saying what's the symmetry breaker? What's the difference between using the scan or using said evidence to increase the likelihood of the hypothesis? What's the difference there? If I don't believe the
because that's what I'm
hypothesis and the
trying to-
evidence, okay, go ahead.
Wait, do you know what I'm saying?
Go ahead.
Can you repeat what I said?
You said that the domain is just going to be the proposition, and subdomains is just going to be like some sort of like like inner workings or justifications of the proposition. So the justification would
Think
be
of
for
it
the
like
proposition
this.
would be the hypothesis, and then also the evidence, or like the
Okay, think about it like this. No high order justification and first order justification, correct?
Yes.
Okay. So let's put it like that. High order justification is just the justification for justification normally.
Yeah.
So it's just the justification for P. When P justifies X, that's just that. First order justification is just a justification for a proposition. Now, just look at the original first order as the domain. Seems that we can have the higher order as the subdomain, leading or just utilizing what we find that original justification or just the proposition there to be. That's the implication. That's already implicated upon the utility. And when he says probability rising, he's taking it pragmatically, which goes with the utilization.
Okay, pragmatically it goes with the utilization. Okay, so what is the symmetry breaker between using a similar domain and it's just a scan or a picture of grass being green? What's the symmetry breaker between that and a scan?
You're trying to invoke.
I'm confused.
I think you're confused. What are you trying to invoke here?
Recording in progress.
Sorry, I look-y was doing something when you explained part of that. All I'm invoking here is I don't believe there's a connective between the hypothesis and the thing that he's like positing to be in some sort of probability increaser.
What? Okay, the hypothesis is one of the subdomains, and the subdomains are supposed to lead into the domain with the probability, which is the utility upon, let's just say, the variables there. I think you're a little confused on what we're saying.
Okay,
So let me just.
Yeah, the variables. I'm saying, how do the variables connect, or how do the variables support the hypothesis? Go ahead.
Yes, the connection. I'm gonna explain this one time again. But the connection. Okay, the connection is just fairly going to be the utility factors. That's, okay, what probability raises there upon the hypothesis. Let's say the subdomains, which will just be the hypothesis, Then we can have this other subdomain. Let's just say that probability increased the original domain, and you're trying to find a connective there, but it seems it's already connected with the utility factors of the already pragmatic probability there. That's just, you can attack that. We take pragmatic probability as the case, but what you're invoking here is either one, as Hodge would say, a very big blunder, or two, you're just invoking very categorical mistakes. Are you playing Minecraft?
I'm not hop on Minecraft my damn self, but hey,
No. You can.
But yeah, the evidence got. Can we go over the evidence now? Like,
Tune, you can, like, it seems like Chaos is convinced or whatever, so you can go if you have to go, because this is pissing me off. I just want to explain
blatant on that parsimony point, but I'm willing to go over the evidence I already proved for you.
How do you prove evidence without showing it? But okay, whatever.
It's already showed, but
I got you.
So you give a response. They say in the scan that he can erase anybody, no matter what. They all say in the dialogue statement that he can do the same thing. So,
wait, I don't even know a secret was taught in Poke when he said that speed would just be a great, let's say, great factor there, sufficient.
Yeah, that's. I mean, he's not technically wrong, but he has to like justify the condition, or just at least justify that nuance. Like, you're just kind of saying words at that point.
Okay.
Did you find a scan?
Yeah, I already
seen it. I'm uploading it. Okay, so but when you say you're making a when you're saying you're making you're invoking a
it's abduction, so it's more preferable.
Yeah, more preferable.
So my hypothesis is more preferable given evidence.
Yeah, more preferable given the evidence. Okay, and I'm saying this is more preferable given the evidence. If I'm saying the evidence doesn't explain why this is more preferable,
you have to justify that.
Okay, I got.
You're not really justifying.
Okay,
that.
So if we say that.
Do you know what the principle of indifference is?
No, I don't know what that is. What is it?
Okay, so kind of like how you fiction evaders use it, like kind of like an equal interpretation. So if someone presents some type of possibility or hypothesis or model, and they ought to say like, well, my thing is justified. And then they don't actually justify it and what it concerns, then it's closer to 0.5, meaning it's just possible, theoretically, not actually justified.
Okay.
Meaning it would be an equal interpretation, at least upon that behalf.
Yes. That's upon denying it. That's fine. Okay, I agree. I actually agree with you there. That's fine. But when
okay, so how do you justify that proposition as false? Like, you're not really saying anything. I don't even think scans can be false. Kind of incoherent.
No. Okay, wait. I'm not saying the scan itself is false. What I'm saying is when you're talking about it increasing the likelihood such that we take this is the case, I'm saying this has not the increase.
Can you justify it? Like,
okay, I'm
not really justifying it.
Okay, I'm about to tell you. I think, or I believe that because you're saying this goes back to the domain. This is the utilization to prove the proposition in the first place, right?
No, okay, so in this case, the higher order domain is similar to what Kuja was saying to you. My pragmatic concerns is just the way in which I'm justifying these kinds of propositions. The probability theory model or constraints just concerns the way in which measure or guide these kinds of propositions in our inquiry to say it's more likely, at least within this domain of discourse here. So yes, it's more likely, given the evidence that
it's more likely
my view is abductively justified.
It's more likely that Giorno loses based off of the evidence presented.
Yes.
Okay. It's more.
And the only way for the view to fail is if it's true that this scan isn't true, or just the hypothesis fails.
So if we're talking about the hypothesis failing, if I'm attacking that the sufficient conditions for the hypothesis to be justified, and you're saying the justification is just the number of scans, not what the scans entail itself, right?
No, well, it's one. Well, I'll take the hypothesis to be resonating with what the scan says,
Okay,
because
what
the
the
scan is
okay
just saying what the hypothesis already says. So
okay in the scan. Okay, when we talk about the scan says this is in reference to the character and their capacities and capabilities. So ultimately, it's in reference to
yes,
the
okay, and just
okay.
to be clear, so
And
we're
if
on the same
and so
page.
okay, we're on the same
Wait, can I
page.
ask you a question
Yeah, go ahead,
about
go
what you
ahead, go
said
ahead.
prior to?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, just to be clear, so we're on the same page. When you say something is sufficient, are you rather saying it's not necessary, but it's a means and way that this possible world can access this other possible world,
When I say sufficient here, I just mean
as
it's
in
I'm
it can be
saying
used,
it
for
can be
example?
used. Yeah, it's just acceptable. Like it's
Oh,
we need
okay.
not see like we don't need to see Zeno
Well, I
erasing.
wouldn't even say that. It's more or less like it's just necessary.
It's not necessary. I'm saying.
No, well, you have to justify that. You're not really justifying that.
What do you mean?
Okay, well, when I say it's necessary, just so we're on the same page, it's necessary over a group of fictional domains that talk about cross-first debates. At least so as far as in the winning condition.
Yeah,
The
yeah.
winning condition is being manipulated in the higher order sense because the character has the ability to enforce winning because he cannot lose no matter what. So no
I'm
singular winning entity. So there's no singular entity under those type of conditions that can go against the ability, unless we assume the ability is false. Because you can't have both P and not P in the same
Yeah, I
possible
agree.
world.
I agree. I agree. What I'm saying is the ability itself does not seem to be like does not seem to be sufficient in saying that he
This
wins
goes back to
across.
parsimony. How do you justify that? You're not really justifying
Okay,
that.
okay.
Notice-
Okay, when we go to back to parsimony, I mean, you sent me two scans. So when we talk about probability parsimony, right? If I just sent a scan, which would negate the
Okay,
proposition or
send it.
negate
The fuck?
or
What the
negate that
fuck? Send it.
the character's able to do such a thing to my character, right? If we're talking about if this is a true in context to my character, then
Wait, can I ask you a question?
go ahead.
So,
Yeah, go
okay,
ahead.
I already kind of get what you're saying.
Okay,
Are
okay.
you rather saying that you can accept this, but you think your character scale's higher?
Yeah. Okay. Similarly, that's kind of what I'm. That's kind of the meat and potatoes of
Well,
it.
that can't work if that can't work if the
Wait.
hypothesis is true.
No.
That
Not
can't
the,
work.
no. I'm not accepting the hypothesis. No. I'm not accepting the hypothesis because the
I'm talking
hypothesis.
about my hypothesis.
Yes, I'm not accepting the hypothesis. I can accept the.
Okay,
I
and
can.
explain
I
why
can.
it fails.
Okay. That's what we're getting there. Accepting the hypothesis in contrast to a counter hypothesis and comparing data sets in A1 and A2, then we would find it to be the case that your hypothesis fails in comparison to my hypothesis because
Why?
because mine has less commitments. You sent me two scans, which I'm about to show. I
Okay,
have
well,
one
how
scan.
do you justify that? No,
I have
no.
one scan
Listen,
because
yours has more
because
commitments. Just,
why does it have more
well,
commitments?
just to be clear, just to be clear to the
The only
yo, can I
only
finish? Can I
commitments mine
finish, bro?
has is my character
Just to be clear,
because of the
bro.
because of the increase in likelihood
That's not what I'm
based upon
talking
the
about.
epistemics. Okay, what are you
No,
talking
no.
about?
Listen, so we're on the same page. Hold here, brother. Listen, when you say no to the hypothesis, we're saying the hypothesis and the events themselves fail. You're obviously negating my hypothesis when you
And
talk about these kinds of things. So you're so wait. So let me finish.
why is that the case?
Let me finish. Let me finish. So you're assuming everything I say within my hypothesis and one additional critique I obviously know here. So we're on the same page. You have more commitments.
Why is it the case?
I'm only saying the only commitments I have is that Zeno wins.
Wait.
Because of that.
Okay, when you say
Okay, so to follow on, to finish the point, so using the principle of indifference, the hypothesis you presented of the model is closer to 0.5, at least so as far as in the events themselves happening, because you didn't actually justify the other critiques you had within the hypothesis. Obviously, just being no, or the evidence itself fails. Obviously, the scan is like whatever's being said within the scan abductively justifies my propositions and my prior commitments because it has similar data that explains the data, at least so as far as in a winning against your character. For example, they say the character wins no matter what. They also say within the data book, the character wins. It's consistent. It's more preferable.
Okay, when we talk about accepting the hypothesis in a cross first context, what I'm saying is, if we were to be able to accept the hypothesis, we would have to compare the hypothesis in all of its entirety and its commitments to a counter argument or a hypothesis that states the
How is the
negation.
counter argument justified?
Okay, the counter argument would just be justified in the same way that yours is justified in terms of increasing the
What?
Okay, if we have two opposing hypotheses, okay. Let me ask you a hypothetical. If we have two opposing hypotheses, there's two hypotheses in existence, and there's one hypothesis that has one amount of stands or epistemics that increases the likelihood of the hypothesis, and then we have another hypothesis which has two scans
Can I
that
ask you a
increase
clarifying question?
that increases the likelihood of the hypothesis. How do we discern which of these hypotheses are true?
Okay. Well, one, through a method of fact checking and just going over
Okay.
the commitments and evidence.
Okay.
And just to be clear, to ask
sure.
you,
Okay,
just to be clear, to ask a clarifying question, are you saying that your view is true?
What do you mean by true here?
At least so far, okay, like we can accept the view is truth at. Like, we're not the view, rather what the view itself concerns. Like, do you think the positations are truth at?
What do you mean? I don't know. People say that.
Okay, like the ability to be either true or false. The
Yeah.
ability to be either true or false.
Do I think? Sure, that's fine.
Oh, okay, well, how do you justify that epistemic domain when concerning truth there?
When concerning truth, there
Wow.
that the proposition could just be true or false. Well, I don't see why.
Well, yes, and just
Yeah,
because
okay.
I'm
I would
asking,
say
like
go
the
ahead,
theory of
just go ahead.
justification, the theory of truth there, like, how do you justify all of this?
The truth theory. Okay, but that's what I was asking you. So when you say truth,
Well,
when you
I'm a
say
pragmaticist.
okay,
Like, this is confused. You're confused.
He's a pragmatist, and justification account is the Bayesian system.
Yeah.
okay, in totality, not just for your hypothesis. Okay.
So I'm asking you, how do you justify
okay.
your truth theory with concerning truth app concerns? At least so as far as where you say your view is obviously the one to be that's more preferable here in all of its commitments.
Okay.
And obviously you negate evidence.
Okay. Yeah, I can give it. Okay, I would say here, whenever we're just giving, so you already, it seems you're not disagreeing with what I'm positing in general when it comes
So
to these
no,
hypotheses,
I'm disagreeing with everything.
Oh, you're disagreeing with
So,
everything.
like, for
Okay,
example,
you're
are you
saying-
like
okay.
are you like a realist or like some type of correspondent theorist when it comes to these kinds of things?
There's different views which I think are all valid forms of looking at truth. But as I was saying,
Not even that, but
I could look
are you like
at,
a correspondent
I
theorist?
usually take an elliptic view. I'm not gonna lie, but
You take a what view?
like a
An
view.
elliptic view. What? That doesn't. Okay, unless you take it just elliptic nihilist view. But elliptics are just truths. It just goes with how we correspond truth towards different entities or just commitments there. It's not actually saying that what we view truth as is just showing the implication of truth. It's not.
It's not
Yeah.
talking
Doesn't
about.
really answer.
So it's the okay.
No, I don't really know what that means. They're going off of like what
okay,
Kuzo was saying, but
okay.
at least so as far as okay, like, are you like a correspondent theorist, for example?
Well, I
Like,
would say
how
what
do
I
you
would- I
cast
would-
out truth there?
I would cash out. Wait, I would say. I say what I'm saying is I think you can cash out truth in multiple ways, but I.
Okay, so you're a plurist.
Okay, yeah, I guess that.
Okay, how do you justify the pluralist?
Is that?
Okay,
But I
what the
say-
fuck?
Wait.
It's a monotonic pluralist stance.
Is
Not
that what-
elliptic.
Is that incorrect? That means
An elliptic pluralist. I'm just saying that we can apply truth in different ways, but it doesn't say what we view truth as.
Okay, so it doesn't say that we can view truth as different things.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
It just says we can apply truth to different things.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So are you like a correspondent theorist, for
I would-
example? Like, what are you?
I mean, I could go under pragmatism. I could go under your view. That's fine.
What the fuck? So let me get it straight. So you're a pragmatist when it comes to truth as well?
It depends on the context.
Oh, okay. And just to be clear, the thesis for pragmatism under your specific account is that as long as it's useful, at least in terms of like computation, when talking about events or talking about anything, we can consider it to be true.
It's just saying that with anything useful, we consider that true. So let's say that.
Yeah, I think I can. That it is true. Anything useful. See, that's what I'm saying. Like, I think it makes sense
Okay.
when we go into can be useful. Like, what that means exactly.
Can I give a response? Okay, so if that's the case, then okay, so I'm gonna just give you like one of the like most basic critiques of a pragmatism. Okay, so if the thesis follows as long as it's useful, we consider it to be true. then why can't I say that what is useful in terms of like my own like theoretic concerns that your view upon truth there just fails,
Yeah.
or
So
rather that or rather your view upon hypothesis and the type of commitments they have fails.
okay, when that's what I'm saying. It's important to recognize what we mean by utility here. So if utility
What the
is
fuck,
that's what you just invoked. You said it with what I believe is just like
brother? The
the
thesis follows as long as it's useful,
as long as
then
it's
it's considered
useful.
to be
Okay, what
true.
does that mean? As long as it's useful. That's what I'm saying.
Okay,
We
so
have
like
to
for
get
example, and
into.
like okay, for example, and like
What? Yeah.
utility type of concerns. Like for
Okay,
example,
that's
you'd
what we're
probably
talking
wait.
about.
Okay, so can I talk? Like for example, you'd probably say some type of like physical nuances can explain physical events, and they're pragmatically useful in their ability to talk about these kinds of events. At least so as far as when we say they're true, because obviously physical nuances concerns physical things. Okay. So in this context, I could be like, well,
So,
it's more
so,
useful.
so when we say,
Can I finish, bro?
so when we say like
Brother.
so when we say physical things there, and determining like how we even identify like physical things, then how are we saying okay that
Yes.
physical to come to some sort of I guess axiom there
So,
that physical thing is true? Like what? How do we under a pragmatist view? How are we saying that thing is true without
brother,
assuming other
this is
views?
something you should know. You're defending pragmatism.
I'm not.
You just heard me say the word, and you just
I'm
thought you were cooking with that.
no, no,
No.
no, no, no,
Listen,
no,
bro,
no.
brother. When you say something is useful, I'm saying under the type of view of usefulness that my view specifically concerns there, it would just negate all other prior aforementioned accounts of usefulness when you talk about your specific usefulness when concerning hypotheses.
When
If that's the case, then I have a more useful model, at least so as far as when it talks about usefulness, at least in terms of your prior commitments. And if you can't justify why yours is more useful, you would lose.
okay,
Okay, Chico, I think we can put it. Are you like read up on any like books, philosophy?
okay, on some of them, but when we go when we're talking about like I have Hume, I have
Okay, now let's
Descartes,
get
I
with
have
Hume's stuff. Hume has multiple theorems. Let's just go with his critique on. Yeah, let's just go with his critique on God. Seems that he says for to have necessary P, we must have possible delta, but possible delta leads to not P. So it seems that we cannot have these in a syntax. Well, when it seems that when we say necessary P there, it's just saying that sorry, saying that we're invoking the usefulness, or pragmatically seems that we have to say P is necessary in all possible worlds. So the pragmatist would say with this that it seems useful to say for the agent to consider this view as right because the utility factors.
Yep.
I stopped listening for a second there, but
Bro.
so I'm doing something. But as you were talking about the utility factors there, and we talk about the utility factors there. You're just like we're just talking about something that has what
Bro, this is bro.
Okay,
This is like
well,
overkill.
has what.
in shorter terms, we could just say the usefulness is just adding a different another commitment. So let's go with what?
So something with less commitments is more useful.
What? No, I didn't invoke that at
Oh,
all.
okay.
I said adding.
I'm asking. It's a question.
I said a pragmatist would say.
It's a question. It's a question.
No,
Calm
but
down.
it would say that. Well, usually the pragmatist would say about utility that we invoke it with the commitments or just the value it adds. So when we say the apple is blue, it seems that it doesn't add any value or valuations to what we find the apple to be. So we do not take that as true unless a descriptive factor is shown. That's just the utility factors upon pragmatism.
Okay, when
Yep.
you say you descriptive factors, that's indexed to the
This
truthfulness
is
of the
overkill.
hypothesis itself, right?
You said what?
And then that's indexed to what the hypothesis of what an apple is, correct?
It's just in reference to the commitments implied within the thesis.
Okay, so in the thesis here, you said so in reference to an apple being blue, you're saying this is not useful in reference to the thesis, and the thesis would be in reference to what an apple actually is, right?
Yes. It
Okay,
goes
so when
the
we
thesis.
so when we talk about the thesis, in determining whether something is truth app to said thesis is going to be sorry, not truth app, whether it's going to increase the likelihood of such a or increase the it's going to be useful towards such a thesis. When looking at such a proposition or such a thing, how do we determine that this is useful or is providing
Because
utility
I
to the
said this,
thesis?
but we
Yeah.
look at the usefulness with the valuations. It's just when we look at the properties with, let's say, a commitment, it seems that we're evaluating the commitments there, invoking something. We're just looking at the values.
Okay. So looking at the properties and the values of something of what we're invoking. So with
Yeah.
what we're invoking, this is going to come with commitments that one must fulfill to say that X thing, like the proposition or the claim, or even say we have it written down somewhere, an apple is blue is useful to the hypothesis, right?
No, the apple is okay. But I'm saying that when we say the apple is blue, it's not adding value to what we find apples to be.
Yeah.
Because it's not even adding extra properties, commitments, upon what we find the apples to be linguistically and what they convey to be. It seems that then people say it's not useful. But we say the apple is red, it seems that the utility there actually goes under what we found it, or what usually we founded an apple to be.
Okay, so
Seems that same.
when what an apple is, that's what I'm asking you. When we're talking about
Yes,
what an
it
apple
goes
is,
with what.
yeah. So
it just
wait, and
goes with the valuations of an apple.
exactly. And to determining the valuations of what an apple is or the thesis, there are certain things that would apply or properties that can be applied here to evaluate the connectivity between any proposition or anything like anything.
That's
said like
fine.
apples.
That's what the
Okay.
pragmatists say.
Okay, that's cool. I agree.
Okay, bro. Okay,
I
bro,
agree.
brother. So we're on the same
agree.
page.
We're on the same
So,
page.
okay.
I agree.
Since you agree now,
Okay.
you finally,
So,
got that out the way.
Okay.
Can you respond to my critique? Like, this is embarrassing.
Okay. When we talk.
Holy shit.
Okay. When we. Oh shoot! I just broke that. When we talk.
Okay,
about,
so
when we talk about. Okay,
Can I tell you what I said priorly?
Bro.
I'll just repeat it. So we're
I
on this.
remember your
Obviously,
your
don't
original
remember.
hypothesis, and I remember your critique was just saying that you find that utility here is just going to be like simply something that agrees with your view, and you don't find that like some sort of counter hypothesis or
Yeah.
thesis is
So I'm
going to
saying
be-
that. So
is- is
listen,
going to-
yes.
it's
So
going to
we're
be
on the
useful
same
here.
page.
It's going to be useful here. Okay, we're on the same page. Let me respond now to the critique.
No, we're
Let
not.
me. You just said I'm on the same page. Let me
That's not.
respond.
Oh yeah. Yes, you said partially what you said is what I was saying partly. Okay, well, one,
Then
it's
clarify,
another
and then let me
thing.
respond.
Okay, so if the thesis follows as usefulness is considered to be truth, under the pragmatic account of truth there, well, if that's the case, then we can have like some type of self-refutation schemes that we can invoke and try or try to commit ourselves and say that these things are useful. If that's the case, then your view fails.
Okay, I don't think that any external view or positive.
It's not external. it's under a pragmaticist account.
What do you mean? Okay, are you talking about? I think for any agent, the utility is going to change. So for when we talk about an apple being red,
What?
Sorry. When we talk about what an apple is in a proposition such as an apple is blue. Well, the utility for such a proposition is relative to any object observed. So when we say like
That's fine.
yeah. So when we say
So when
we
granting
say,
this, that doesn't change what I said.
Okay, let me finish. So when we say under some thesis, when it comes to your character versus my character, in terms of determining the truth value of a thesis, we wouldn't take some sort of external view or some sort of external statement to be some sort of internal critique upon the actual thesis. So when you say, if I say the hypothesis, wait.
what?
So if I say my hypothesis is that my character beats your character, and you say, well, actually, under the pragmatist view, the proposition your character loses to my character is going to be some sort
That's
of
not
behavior
that's
that
that's
just
not
fails
that's not
because
what's being said.
there's no transitivity.
This isn't a response. This isn't a response. Okay, for everybody in the recording, he says he's a pragmaticist when it comes to truth. This, in simple terms, is just as long as chill out, bro. Chill out. As long as it's useful, chill out, bro. As long as it's useful, it's considered to be true. If that's the case, and that's how you cash it out, brother.
Okay, and what's determining utility
it's not,
is indexed to the hypothesis. That is not useful to the hypothesis.
Do you not know how to be civil? Like you just yell over people all the time, bro. Can I finish?
Go ahead.
Listen. So, oh my god. So we're on the same page. It's not external. You can still be a pragmaticist and still talk about these kinds of accounts or ideations. I'm only saying that it's more useful in discourse that whatever type of agent the usefulness is being evoked there. If they try to invoke these kinds of things or concepts, then your view fails. So if anything is just useful and it's considered to be true under their pragmaticist account, truth
I
there,
said that. You
then
literally said that
how
doesn't
can you
follow.
determine? Then how can you determine if your theory is more useful than mine?
I went over it with Metafy, and you already just agreed that not all
What?
propositions, not all propositions are going to be useful in all situations, and is relative to
What are you saying? This is so trivial.
Sorry.
Holy shit, retarded,
Wait.
bro.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
You already.
So we're on the
wait,
same
wait, wait,
page.
Is the proposition or is this statement? Is the statement?
Brother,
Wait. Is the
bro,
statement?
bro.
Wait. Is the statement? The apple. Wait. Let me ask you a question. I'll let you speak. Is the statement an apple is blue? Is this statement useful towards the hypothesis of what an apple is or defining an apple?
Brother, this is trivial. Okay, listen. So
Why is it trivial?
wait, chill
Wait,
out.
why is it
Listen, the
trivial?
reason why it's trivial, the reason why this is trivial, because even if we take this into consideration, then yes, you can still have some other pragmatic concerns that talks about maybe lower order type of concepts or ideations, i.e., apples. So yes, you can maybe say, well, it's pragmatically useful that an hypothesis when talking about apples fails because of X. If that's the case, then how do you justify your view being more useful?
I don't know why. Why are people reporting Tune, bro?
I don't know what's going on. They're just mad.
I don't like Tune. Tune has had, for the most part, a respectful conversation. I don't know why people.
Yeah, I don't know why I
I
report them,
don't.
bro.
I don't.
It's weird.
I wouldn't.
But like I said, that's besides the point. Okay, but just so we're on the same page,
Okay,
bro.
so you said
Listen.
when we're talking. Okay, if the hypothesis
So
fails, you said.
the main
So if the
listen. So
hypothesis
the main
fails,
critique.
okay, so you said if the
So,
hypothesis fails, then a proposition such as an apple is blue does
yes,
does
because
produce utility.
yes.
Okay, why does the hypothesis fail?
Well, one, it's just an alternative. I'm only telling you that would follow if we assume pragmatism in this type of form
Why
of
would
account.
that? Why would no?
Yes, because remember the thesis follows that as long as it's useful, it's true. If that's the case, then we can.
Utility, and you already agree that utility is based upon the object or agent we're observing.
Yes. So how do you justify?
So it's not.
Wait, no,
Okay, so
chill out,
you
bro.
just said yes.
No,
So it's not in all cases.
no.
Either that's a. Okay.
It can be. It is.
What do you mean it can be? It is.
Yes. Oh
What do you mean?
bro? The point. Listen, the critique is that how do you justify a proposition being not even just justify? When we talk about truth there, and it's just usefulness there, then how is any proposition more useful than the other? You can't say it's more useful because it's all useful.
Okay.
So if it's all useful, then how is a
I
proposition
didn't-
more useful than another
Okay,
proposition? If that's the case, you can make self-refutation schemes and invoke them here, and your view fails.
Okay, I'm telling you, I don't affirm that all. I already said this earlier. I don't affirm that all statements or propositions unqualified or useful. I already said that. To say
Then how do you justify yours being more useful?
I said it's indexed to what we say a thing is, and then how a statement
Okay,
reflects,
this is trivial.
and how a statement reflects that. So if we say, for example, if we affirm a P and not P, and like this is just a proposition, like this tree exists and doesn't exist at the same time in the same way, we say this is like some sort of syntax. We don't have to talk about metaphysically whether this is true or not, right? I would say this, although this is a proposition, it has semantics. It's a syntax formed in a way that we're trying to come to some sort of like truth there, or we're trying to come to some sort of conclusion.
Bro, we can invoke that. Listen, we can invoke the same schemes there.
Then that
we can invoke. We
we
can invoke the same schemes there.
The statement or assertion, yeah. So when we're expressing that assertion or judgment, we say there's a P and not P, right? I would say that although this
okay, there's a P.
This is a proposition. I affirm that that's a proposition, but I would say that because of the context, because there's no meaning from this. Right, then I would say there is because there's
this
no
seems like a
that we
category
get out of
error,
this-
brother.
category
The
error.
view. Listen, the thing I'm referencing is the theory of truth, not the theory in which you justify these propositions. Just so we're on the same page.
The theory in which you justify.
Yeah, yes. So the reason,
listen,
the reason why I'm critiquing the pragmaticist account of of usefulness there is because as long as it's useful, it's true, then we can have, like I said,
are you saying
so we can have self.
it's circular? Are you saying it's circular? It's like to try to use
Yes,
pragmatism to say that something else isn't useful?
because how do you jump? Listen, yes. Because how do you jump outside of that epistemic loop and actually warrant any of these useful considerations?
First of all, I don't think that systems or theories of meaning, like for example, you say like classical logic. I don't really believe that these systems are going to be the kind
Bro,
of thing
what? That's not what I'm talking about.
I know. Oh, wait, I know it's not, but I don't think.
Bro.
Wait, let me finish. I don't think some of these systems are reducible outside to primitive language.
I can grant this. This doesn't go against what I'm saying.
Okay, so if it's circular,
okay,
then there's
just
no
to be
issues
clear,
of
do you think the only way for bro?
You just conceded there's no issues if the language is primitive,
listen. There can be, listen. Let me talk, bro. There can be a contradiction among referents if we assume the referents and their domains are assumed to talk about the exact same things, i.e., but rather in a negatory sense. For example, if you say Gatorade and not Gatorade, and both are true under some type of datum or some type of thing or some type of model, then they can't both be true because that would lead to a contradiction. In this context, under their pragmatic account, the view fails because if anything is useful, how do you determine something is more useful? If it's still technically useful, just reference to the datum it's trying to talk about. My thought for the stutter, by the way.
You don't have to apologize for stuttering, bro. You're a human being. But as I was saying, you said that the reason that the proposition of water bottle, not water bottle, can't be accepted is because there's a logical contradiction there.
Bro, well, one, it's not even just that. It's just rather, it's not even just that. It's just the consideration of usefulness there. Like if it's useful to one particular group or domain when talking about some type of thing or idea or model, then how do you just kind of just say anything is just useful, at least so as far as an actual informative way or manner.
I keep telling you I don't say that everything is useful, and then when you're asking for the justification of that,
bro, I'm not saying you're saying that. I'm saying that's what the view implies.
What, pragmatism itself?
Yeah, because as long as it's useful, it's considered to be true. So I can have some type of set of self refutation schemes or rather concepts or ideas. Bro,
wait, is the proposition P and not P? No, pragmatism does not posit that everything is useful and posit that value, meaning, or truth or idea lies in its practical application, consequences, and ability to solve problems.
That doesn't change what I said.
Okay. So when we talk about something's ability to posit value, meaning, or truth, or have a practical application or consequences, then things that would lead to some sort of self-refuting, to some sort of self-refutation or some sort of logical contradiction there wouldn't obtain. So if we say, like, for example, the domain.
Why?
Okay. Because the whole point of you just agreed, the whole point of the position is that it's trying to come to some sort of practical application or consequence and an ability to solve a problem.
It's practically useful that these self refutation schemes hold. If that's the case, how do you prove yours is more useful? Wait. And just to be clear, so we're on the same page.
It's practically useful.
Stop.
What's the justification for that?
Brother, I'm not saying it's true.
Oh, okay, go ahead.
Listen, it's just a meta level analysis of what the pragmaticist concerns when they talk about truth.
Yeah. Okay,
so we're on the same page. Listen, just to be clear, the type of critiques and the questions I'm asking you concerns if the epistemic domain itself is justified. Mm-hmm. This is just a type of critique you can give when talking about the pragmaticist view. Mm-hmm. Okay, so under your kind of pragmaticism, if anything is useful, how do you justify something being more useful?
Well, why do you keep doing that, Toon? I keep telling you, the view does not posit, I'm not positing that everything is useful. And when you say that everything is useful, what you're saying is something that can be something like the negation to your view can be useful, and I'm negating that everything is useful in the first place to be able to accept that second statement.
Bro.
Why is everything useful under my view? Go ahead. Why is everything useful under my view?
Listen.
Why is everything useful under my view?
Okay, even if you consider not everything to be useful.
Okay.
The point is rather talking about, it's talking about the individual pragmatic concerns themselves. So individually, the way you concern truth is that if it's useful when talking about a specific datum or some type of thing, then we can say it's true. Do you grant this? Yes or no?
When we talk about some sort of datum or thing that it's
Yes,
true.
yes. For example,
Yeah.
similar to the Apple example you gave. Okay, yes. So you agree to that. If that's the
Whether
case, then
determining
you can have individual pragmatic concerns.
whether determining is whether it's true or false. Truth app, is that what you mean?
No, but well, when talking about when talking about meta epistemology, at least so as far as in the truth absence, you're talking about the way truth works and the way we understand truth, not justification.
Not justification there. So when we're saying, okay, so then you're saying that this type of thing, the type of thing that you would say is useful there is not determining the truth of the position itself.
Well, one, the way you justify these types of propositions, that's called theory of justification, not
That's fine.
talking about truth. Okay, so if that's
Okay.
the case, how do you justify the theory of truth? Like remember, the critique I'm giving to you isn't all I'm asking you.
I got you. Well, first of all, I don't know why you hold to the view, but you're attacking the
No,
view.
listen. Well, just to be clear, listen. There's different forms of pragmatism you can hold to.
I literally said we could go under your.
I'm only asking you to justify your
tune. I don't know if you remember, but I said we could literally go under specifically your view, and then just posit a counter hypothesis.
That's not my view.
What?
I don't have the same commitments as you. I'm only asking you to justify your view.
No, I'm not saying. Wait, no. Listen, when you first said, when we were first talking about when I first brought up counter hypothesis, what it was directly in reference to is under a view that takes the same type of commitments that yours does, but could be equally.
Well, it doesn't.
What?
Because I don't have the same commitments.
What's your account? Because wait. By the way, this is on rec. We can rest the whole debate on if I said that we.
This is like a burden shift because remember,
it's not a burden shift. I said no. I'm not asking.
The reason why it's a burden shift. The reason why it's a burden shift is because I'm primarily talking about your pragmatic considerations and concerns. Because remember, priorly you said that your pragmatic account is X, Y, Z, and then you're saying that we can use it to talk about these kinds of true concerns. Well, I'm not using the same truth theory you're using.
No, brother. Two things. First of all, and I'm gone down this rabbit hole with you because I don't mind. But I told you we could go under the same truth theory that you hold and still evaluate the distinction between two hypotheses that posit contradictory claims or conclusions.
Well, okay, just to be clear, if that's the case, this is a burden shift.
And secondly, when talking about my specific view, I said I hold to multiple things going into. So when we talk about the valuation between certain things, I don't hold that all things are valuable when we talk about pragmatic truth. And then beyond that, I do think that certain views on truth, like proving some of these things, is at some point going to reduce.
So yes or no?
It's going to reduce to some sort of like
still manning this, brother. Still manning this point.
Yeah, go ahead.
Still manning this point. Just to be clear, so we're all on the same page. Under my kind of pragmatic concerns, well, one, Bayesian inference was invoked there. At least within the justification sense there, and I don't believe that anything you said really goes against that view. Or at least goes against that concern.
Which one? Sorry.
well, one is the kind of Bayesianism there.
The Bayesianism there, which you're just talking about a data set which increases the probability of a hypothesis, correct?
Yes.
Okay, so we're talking about a data set that
increases
the likelihood of a hypothesis. Okay, that's one, and then the second step after that is going into a pragmatist view based upon that, correct?
Yes, bro.
Okay, so going into a pragmatist view based upon that afterwards, when we're looking at the data set and determining whether this meets the sufficient conditions to prove the hypothesis true, and not just proving that it's acceptable to take the hypothesis true. What I'm saying is, if we have a similar data set that is in the negation to the hypothesis, and it's not including.
How do you justify the negation?
It's not including. What do you mean? How do I justify the negation?
Because you're saying you have a negative set of commitments, that those commitments are obviously X, and then whatever X is talks about something that goes against my view. How do you justify those type of things? You're not really justifying it.
Okay. Okay, it would be. That's what I said. That we can go based upon. I said if we go based upon a data set. That's what you said. A data set that proves a hypothesis, and then based upon that hypothesis, we take what has less commitments across the different hypotheses. Correct or no? Parsimony.
No, brother. Okay, even when talking about parsimony, just to be clear, even if it were the case I had more commitments, I'm saying that A is independently justified. Obviously, no, in your hypothesis or within your account or whatever you're taking to be true or your own commitments, you obviously assume A to not be justified.
I would
If
assume,
that is if that in and of itself isn't justified, then your view fails.
A1 would be justified in virtue of A2 being justified. And A2,
Okay, so how do you justify anything you're saying?
A2 is just justified by a data set, which increases the likelihood that Giorno beats Zeno. That's it.
Okay, brother. Okay, if that's the case, then how are you justifying that? Because I already told you priorly that if it were true the character does have X ability or X capacity, then it can't be true that Zeno that he loses.
Why is it the case?
Yes, because he can erase anything. If he can't erase anything, obviously some X that exists, and that proposition fails.
Okay, so when you say he can erase anything, all you're saying is that he has the capacity to do such a thing. Not that that's an actual.
No, okay, it's not even just the capacity. It's not even just the capacity
It is
itself.
the
He
case
says no matter what he can't.
No matter
what he can't lose. His authority.
Okay, no
can't
matter
be
what
challenged.
his authority cannot be challenged. Okay, well, first of all, these are two now that's just hedging. Like you're shifting the claim.
What?
But,
No, it's baked into each other.
No, it's not. I could say I can run a mile. Does that mean I'm running a mile right now? No, that's false.
One.
That's fine.
When talking about the erasure capacity, it's kind of more or less biconditional. Well, one, if it isn't true
how's
that
biconditional that he wins? Wait,
yes,
you think
yes,
it's
it's
biconditional
biconditional.
that his authority can't be challenged because he can erase things?
Yes. One. If he doesn't have the erasure, his authority can't be challenged. If his authority can't be challenged, he doesn't have the erasure.
Wait.
So it follows both ways.
No. I get that you're saying there's symmetry between these two things, but I'm saying that there is that just doesn't follow that because he can erase things. It doesn't follow that his authority can't be challenged. I'm saying that doesn't follow. What's the argument for that?
Well,
When we talk about,
obviously does.
because when we talk about potency, when we talk about something to be able to do something, we're not saying it's actual. We're just saying that they have the ability to do something.
Okay, question. Can I ask you a question?
Wait. So if he has the ability to erase things, does that mean necessarily he can't be erased?
No, brother. Listen, when you talk about his authority being challenged, his authority, as at least understood within the Dragon Ball verse, is just the capacity itself to enact erasure. If the ability to enact erasure is challenged, then his authority is being challenged, meaning he can be erased himself, meaning he can't erase anything. So it would have to be true that he can only erase some things and not all things. Because if he can erase all things, then his authority can't be challenged.
Wait. When we talk about, index to his verse, when we say he can erase all things, I'm saying the ability to erase all things does not follow that his authority can't be challenged. It could be the case that he can, given enough time, or if the sufficient conditions are met, he can erase everything in the Dragon Ball universe. But if those sufficient conditions aren't met, like him perceiving somebody, like for example,
it's not even sufficient.
Wait. Okay, when I say sufficient conditions, all I'm saying is the only things necessary for it to be the case that he erases something.
It's literally it's necessary. The character he can't be Zeno without the ability. But just to be clear, so we're on the same page. The scan says no matter what.
Oh wait, index to Zeno. I'm just gonna say this simply. I think it is the case that there are characters who are physically faster than Zeno. They're physically faster.
Don't justify that.
I got you.
I mean, so we're on the same page. So Zeno
fails to perceive the dispo.
There can be higher order. There can be higher order interpretations of speed. So that doesn't really respond.
What do you mean? How does that not really respond? You said that he.
Physical movement isn't the only way to move.
Physical movement isn't the only way to move. What do you mean by that? What do you think movement is?
Okay, there can be higher order interpretations of movement. That's why the scan says no matter what.
What do you mean? What do you mean by movement here?
Okay, so like dimensional movement, like moving within like the third dimension, for example, there can be higher order considerations of speed there.
What do you mean? Moving? I think moving within 3 spatial axes is just the normal physical account of movement. What do you mean?
I'm saying, but that's trivial. This is a category.
Then you agree.
The reason, the reason why it's a category, like beyond physical capacity.
Beyond physical capacity. When we're talking about movement, it's indexed to physical capacity. Are you talking about a qualitative speed of being,
under
like
my view, that's not true.
Are you talking about omnipresence?
Well, you can have physical means of omnipresence, which is fine, but that's not what I'm talking about.
What are you talking about then?
So when I say higher order, I mean like it can even be like narrative suggestive. Like it can talk about higher order understandings of narrative movement. Maybe the character is something that moves throughout the narrative, which is obvious. It's not circular.
You're using movement.
What definitions are supposed to be virtuous?
You're using movement to describe movement. You're saying okay.
I mean, vicious.
You're saying this movement is narrative
My
movement.
fault,
That's not informative. That's not informative at all.
It is informative because I'm telling you it's beyond physical movement, bro. Do you think the narrative has physical concerns?
What do you mean physical concerns here? Yeah, I do.
Yes, like, bro.
Yeah.
No.
Goku can't breathe in space.
No,
what do you mean?
Because listen, there doesn't have to be any physical thing for it to be a narrative.
There doesn't need to be any physical thing for there to be a narrative. What do you mean by that?
Yeah, it's not necessary. So, like, for example,
objects need not exist for there to be a narrative. What do you mean by that?
No, brother. Not all objects are physical. This is a very like.
Well, what do you mean by object here? What do you think? How's it a category error? If you're saying these things unqualified, object normatively, look, a material thing that can be seen or touched. What are you talking about? What are you talking about?
Okay, right, but not all objects are physical. I guess you're confused here.
Okay, I never said that they were, but I'm saying unqualified.
Okay, if they're not, the narratives by definition.
That would just be the most basic and normative understanding of such a thing. What? So
narrative movement, higher order understandings of movement, like narrative movement, are higher order than physical movement. Physical movement rather just concerns maybe just things within the setting itself, like i.e. like the means to travel to X because of dimension Y. Obviously, narrative movement is higher order to any and all of this.
What do you mean? Give such a proposition that would entail narrative movement.
Oh, let's say a being that's beyond all understandings of scaling and all other metaphysical physical means can move. They're beyond
that's not informative
dimensions. They're beyond universal beings, etc.
That's not informative at all. So just saying that
it's informative, brother.
It's not,
brother. Listen, just so we're on the same page. Physical beings cannot move in the narrative sense, or in the metaphysical sense.
Okay,
if they're moving in the narrative sense, they're higher order than physical beings.
You're still not giving.
So we're on the same page.
You're not. Are you talking? Okay, is this what you're talking about? The progression or pace of?
Yes.
Okay, so when you say a character, okay, do you think? What do you mean by this? I think a character can only progress sequentially. Like, how do they go outside the system, which encompasses them?
Well, one, that's not even true because there can be different understandings of narrative movement as well. But
okay, this is fine. What is your account? What is your account then? You're being extremely ambiguous.
Okay, so wait,
stop. You
Bro,
were saying
can I finish?
You were talking about no, really quickly. I'm gonna let you finish after. You were talking about the tiering system and being outer in reference to the progression and pace and shifting of the story.
Yes, because everything within the tiering system takes place within the setting.
Okay, that is not really attacking what I just
said.
So
if that's the case, then if it's narrative movement, it's higher order than everything that's within the setting.
Okay. If you mean by like narrative movement insofar as like the character has some sort of like metaphysical priority.
Right, it's literally a part of the plot of Dragon Ball that Zeno can't use at all.
Wait, let me finish. As if it's some sort of some sort of nomological or a metaphysical commitment to the verse that the character like can't die or something like that.
Not nomological.
What do you think nomologics are?
Well, if you're using it within the modal sense, relating to like physical operators of like can, must be, impossibility or like just necessity. Obviously, like just very vague, just very basic modal terms. But when talking about nomology, just talking about physical things, like i.e., physical laws, physical consideration, etc.
Okay.
Met-
Okay. So I think okay, we can just drop that because it's like not really relevant. That's fine. But when we talk about like metaphysically, I still think that was a little bit silly with the nomologic, because like there could be like a physical law that like must be the case in a verse. Like we see that all the time, whatever, like the speed force and all these things. But well, forget it, right? Forget that. When we talk about the like some sort of metaphysical commitment, like the character must always exist. How's that movement? Let's say that is a metaphysical commitment or a narrative
what?
constraint. Let's say that's a narrative constraint for Dragon Ball. How is that movement?
The reason why it's movement is because if the narrative doesn't move along with the story, then there's no story.
That doesn't answer the question. Okay, you're not really
It does because
not
the
really-
whole reason of narrative, the whole point of narrative movement, it instantiates there being a setting or events that take place. The whole point of the narrative moving per se is just to tell us that there's some progression amongst the settings and the reference inside the setting.
Sure. When you say that when you say there's a progression within the setting and the set of objects are progressing within the setting, well, what do you mean by there's a character with a high order of movement? This high order of movement is narrative movement. What kind of movement is that for such a character? All you're talking about right now is the actual progression of the story. I think the characters are encompassed by the story. So when we talk about a character having a movement speed, when we talk about speed here, then
it's a category mistake.
Okay, how's a category mistake? Go ahead.
Well, one. I mean, I'm not saying like just so we're on the same page. When I say narrative movement, I'm not saying like Zeno's the narrative, brother.
I'm not saying
just saying
he's
some type of like
a narrative. I never said that you said that.
Oh, okay. He's more or less like a narrative entity. Like he takes place within the narrative, and the narrative can't be if Zeno doesn't exist. At least so as far as in the same way as it's been presented aforementionedly.
But
like obviously, like there being a tournament of power, or etc. like that.
Okay, I mean, we could say that about a multitude of characters in terms of just progressing the narrative, but when we're talking about speed here, saying that a character must be like is some sort of like say some sort of metaphysical like say we take a substantive view of time, right? And we're saying that time must be within space and must be in the universe, and you can't have one without the other. I mean, that's fine, but you're not really saying, okay, if we're saying, okay, what's the speed of time? And that's what I'm asking you, what's the speed of the character? Because when we're talking about him reacting to certain events that's within the narrative, like reacting to someone moving at light speed, you're saying you could just have some high order movement speed. And when we're talking about high order movement, you're not actually talking about speed here. You're talking about the progression of the story. So you seem terribly confused. It seems like you're making the category
wait, so
when
question.
you're talking
Can
about
I ask you a question? So
when you're talking about speed
you don't think
versus narrative
you don't
movement.
think you don't think that narrative progression trivially so has speed?
Trivial so has speed. I mean, what do you mean by that?
Bro, if there's no speed, then there's nothing that's moving.
What do you mean by that?
Bro, oh my god. Bro, when you say something moves,
are you talking about like
listen,
do I think there's
brother,
a time skip in One Piece? Like, yeah, there's a time
brother,
skip
brother,
in One Piece.
brother.
Listen,
how fast
is the time skip in One Piece? That's narrative movement. How fast?
Can I finish?
Go ahead.
Bro, okay, even if that, bro, mentioning time skips it makes your point seem worse because there's some speed between it.
What do you mean there's some speed between it? How fast? Okay, how fast?
Yeah, it's like for example, you could take pre-time skip and then post-time skip. There's like a 2-year gap between the two. So the speed would be like
there's time. There's time. We're talking speed is a measurement of distance over time. Where's the distance there? Narrative movement has no distance. Bro. What are you talking about?
Oh, no, I gotta go.
What?
I gotta go.
Okay, leave.
That was a bad argument. What the hell? Yo, there's no way. Like, what? Yo, remember that person that I said was decent that we should add on the tier list?
Who?
He's in the chat. It's Eris TM. I don't know if you've ever seen
him. That guy was good too. I mean, he had me on the one.
That's Mikey.
Mikey.
Yeah, I know.
That person I just debated is Mikey.
No, not that person. I'm talking about Eris TM, the
We
one
already
that I
have him
said
on
you
the
should
table.
have.
It's Loki. He's Loki.
Who did I
Wait,
just debate just now? Who was
Eris is
that?
not Loki.
Who did
Who
I
the
just
fuck is
debate just
Loki?
now? Okay, I'm not gonna lie. Okay, I want Metafy to come back because like when it came to simply explicating the views, when it came to pragmatism and some of those things, like I blundered when I invoked like induction and stuff like that. But like I think that's a very huge blunder to